when I went to the hospital, I couldn't walk. I had no control on any of my limbs. Everything had shut down.
I started working with Jim a couple of weeks ago, shortly before he came on service with us. He was living in a shelter for homeless veterans and having a lot of difficulty there, primarily because he couldn't climb the stairs to get to his room with any degree of ease, and also they were not able to give him the pain medication that he needed. So he was really suffering from a lot of pain and discomfort. So I went out and I made a visit, and we determined that going into long-term care was really the best option for him. And within 24 hours, we were able to get him into Keystone. Once Jim got to Keystone, you could sense the relief in him, that he was finally someplace where he could get the care that he needed. This is someone who was a Navy SEAL in Vietnam. He saw 2 years of active duty, which to me is just unimaginable. And here he is at the end of his life, relatively alone except for his family who live far away, and really needing and deserving of some peace.
The way that I came in the program is when my wife was sick. She was on hospice, and I thought so grateful of the hospice team, the nurse, everybody that came, people that was delivering the stuff, that I made a promise to God that when my wife would be gone, that I would join the program. And now I'm with James Garrity, and I'm getting some good time with him. He lets you talk about the past. He talks about his wife and kids, daughter that came back to his life, and his friends. And he mentioned a lot of things to me when he was in the service. He lets you talk about politics. If I mentioned something of politics or powers, really.
They treated me critical. I was in ICU for 7 or 8 days. They didn't know whether I was going to make it or not. They really truly didn't.
So I go in with the thought of giving them the highest respect. They've had a life to live. They've coming to the end of it, and they should be respected for the place that they are right now. It's not easy because you don't really know anybody or where they come from the beginning, but you can pick it up along the way and be receptive to the issues that they have.
I've always explained it by saying that if life is all about flying, and sooner or later we all come in for a landing, hospice is about making that landing as smooth as possible. With Jim, he had asked me a very specific question about being strong, which was, well, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? So I thought about it, and knowing he had been a Navy SEAL, I said, well, Jim, when you were on a rescue mission, which I'm sure you were, what did that person that you were rescuing, what did they do? I thought about it for a while and didn't really have an answer. I said, well, they really didn't do anything, did they? They trusted. They trusted that there was someone out there that was on their way to help and to rescue them. As far as spiritually is concerned, to trust that God is there also. You can trust Him for His love, His grace, His forgiveness. And he thought about it and he said, I can do that. I can do that.
It's a funny thing that I didn't have anybody that I could call. Nobody I could call. You know, it was just, you know, what am I going to do now? That's when HealthAlliance got into the mix, and I can't say enough. I cannot say enough for what they have done for me.
I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Garrity for the first visit. I actually put him onto services when we got the referral. And when I met him, he was having some issues with pain and obviously some breathing issues. And his biggest issue was he didn't really feel like he had anyone that could be his caregiver. So with the team effort, we were able to get him into a long-term care setting where he felt that he was supported and had the things he needed. And his case manager, Chantel, has worked very hard in making sure that his symptoms have been managed.
Our bereavement program, I have to say, is wonderful in that it's responsive. We look at the needs of each patient and their family, and those vary. And that goes with their bereavement process as well. I had the opportunity recently to provide volunteer services to James Garrity, and what a wonderful opportunity to be able to provide some companionship for him. I think for James, having someone present to hear his story of his life, provide him an opportunity for life review, was very meaningful for him. And the volunteer match process worked out, I think, really well, and that Joe, his volunteer, and James really connected.
The work that we do, if I didn't cry at our meetings, if I wasn't moved to tears, if I wasn't moved and inspired on a daily basis, I couldn't do this work. I mean, the people I work with are phenomenal. And for Mr. Garrity, for us, I feel as though there's a restoration of dignity for him that our team has been able to facilitate. He served our country, and it's such an honor to serve him at end of life. It's such a privilege.
I have a chaplain that I can talk to, I have nurses I can talk to. My whole world is turned around, just turned around. I'm still dying, but I'm going out peaceful. I know I'm going out peaceful. And that's the biggest thing in my life right now is I want peace.